November 25th, 2023, Chicago. Those guitar riffs hit and the wrestling world lost its damn mind. CM Punk was back and nobody, not Seth Rollins screaming F-bombs ringside, not Drew McIntyre storming out of the building, and not even Roman Reigns could do anything about it. Only 3 people knew: Punk, Triple H, and the guys already locked inside War Games. But here's what nobody talks about. This wasn't just Punk's comeback story. Over the next years, every single wrestler who stepped in the ring with him got better, not just by a little bit, career-changingly better. Drew McIntyre went from boring good guy to the most hateable bastard on television. Seth Rollins took his already elite game to levels we didn't know existed. And Roman Reigns found new layers in a character that seemed perfect already. Hell, even John Cena's dying farewell tour suddenly had life again. So what's Punk's secret? How does one guy make everyone around him better just by showing up? Let's break it down. 71 million social media views in just 2 days. Raw the next Monday hitting nearly 2 million viewers, highest since August. WWE's biggest social media moment ever. But forget the numbers for a second. The real magic was watching grown men lose their shit in real time. Seth Rollins wasn't just putting on a show when he gave Punk the finger. Drew McIntyre actually did slam that locker room door so hard, people heard it down the hall. The secrecy was perfect. Nick Khan had been working on this behind the scenes, but they kept it locked down like state secrets. Triple H doing secret FaceTime calls. The talent genuinely pissed they weren't told, which created exactly the kind of authentic emotion you can't script. You know what's beautiful about that? In an industry where everything's predetermined, those reactions were 100% real, and real emotion. That's where great wrestling stories are born. Let's be honest about Drew before Punk showed up. The guy was stuck in neutral. Sure, he could work. That Clash at the Castle match with Roman was incredible. Had the crowd in Cardiff losing their minds. His WrestleMania triple threat with Gunther and Sheamus was so good, he called it his favourite match ever. But his character, generic Scottish guy who says inspiring things, that's it. Word was getting around that Drew was frustrated backstage. Creative had nothing for him. All that talent just spinning wheels. Then Punk tore his tricep at the Royal Rumble. Drew looked into the camera and said 5 words that changed his entire career. I prayed for this and it happened. Holy shit. What came next wasn't your typical heel run. Drew McIntyre went completely unhinged. He didn't just steal Punk's friendship bracelet, he turned it into psychological torture, wearing it like a trophy, mocking AJ Lee, making jokes about Larry the dog. This wasn't heel work, this was personal warfare. The keyboard warrior thing was genius too. Drew would literally tweet during matches, post Instagram stories from catering, turn social media into a weapon. Fans started following his accounts more than WWE's official stuff because you never know when he'd drop another bomb. When they finally got into that Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood, it delivered everything you could want. Bloodiest WWE match in 15 years. The kind of violent storytelling that reminded you why Hell in a Cell used to scare people. The whole process was magic, Drew said afterwards. People can truly feel when there's something real there. There's the difference right there. Drew found his character through genuine hatred, and once he found it, everything clicked. From bland babyface to the most compelling heel on the roster in 6 months. Seth was already operating at the top of his game. Best wrestler of 2023, world champion, putting on classics left and right. So how do you make someone who's already great even better? You make them face their demons on live television. The Seth Punk story goes way back. 2002, 16-year-old Colby Lopez asks CM Punk for free training, and Punk says no. 2012, Punk helps create The Shield, literally saving Seth's career when WWE wanted to cut him for being too small. But somewhere along the way, their relationship went to hell. That Survivor Series reaction, that wasn't acting. Seth screamed screaming "fuck you" and flipping off Punk while 20,000 people cheered was 20 years of buried resentment exploding all at once. And get this, word backstage was Punk just took it. He understood why Seth was pissed and respected it. Their promos became appointment television because they felt dangerous. That final Raw on the USA Network had a segment that had everybody glued to their screens because you genuinely didn't know what could happen next.
I loved the place I worked. I just hated the guy in charge, and he loved you.
Two guys with real history settling real scores within the framework of pro wrestling. The Netflix debut match drew nearly 5 million viewers worldwide. First WWE show to crack 4 million in over a decade. But watch Seth specifically during the whole period. Paul Heyman, who's seen everything, said it best. Seth's performance has eclipsed us all. The emotional investment, the character depth, the way he carried himself, everything hit different when he was across from someone demanding absolute perfection. Seth was already elite, but Punk took him from elite to legendary. April 19th, 2025, Las Vegas. Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. This match was everything wrestling should be. Not just because of the action, though that was incredible, but because you could feel the authenticity radiating through the screen. Three guys with real history, real beef, and real respect for each other putting everything on the line. The crowd was electric from start to finish because they knew they were watching something special. Roman showing vulnerability we'd never seen. Seth's character work hitting new emotional heights. Punk conducting the whole thing like a master storyteller. Paul Heyman's betrayal hit like a truck because it was the payoff to months of character development. The low blow to both Punk and Roman handing Seth the victory. It wasn't just a shocking moment, it was the culmination of everything they'd been building. 114% viewership increase over the previous year. Over 1 billion social media views. Record attendance, record gate, available to 700 million Netflix subscribers worldwide. Critics went nuts for it. Fans called it an instant classic. But here's what really mattered. It proved that when you put elite performers in the ring with someone operating at Punk's level, magic happens every single time. Roman's situation was weird because he was already perfect. 1300-day title reign, universally praised character work. The tribal chief was complete, but Punk's arrival forced him into new territory anyway. Watch that Survivor Series War Games moment where Roman initially blocks Punk from entering the ring. The hesitation, the internal conflict, the eventual acceptance that even the tribal chief sometimes needs help. We'd never seen Roman show that kind of uncertainty before. Their backstage footage from that night showed a completely different side of the character. Strategic discussions, mutual respect despite their complicated past. For the first time ever, we saw cracks in the tribal chief gimmick. The numbers were insane. 204 million social media views in 24 hours. One Instagram reel hitting 91 million alone. But more importantly, those interactions opened new storytelling possibilities for a character that seemed fully realized. By WrestleMania, Roman was delivering his most emotionally invested performance since the Shield originally broke up. The vulnerability, the range, the complexity. It reminded everyone why he's been the face of the company for nearly a decade. Roman didn't need fixing, but Punk showed him new layers to his character that he didn't know he had. Cena's farewell tour was dying. The heel turn felt forced. His promos were bland. Wrestling media was openly criticizing his work as uninspired compared to his legendary runs. Then came June 20th, 2025, SmackDown in Grand Rapids. After putting Punk through a table, Cena sat on the turnbuckle and delivered 6 minutes of pure fire that felt more real than anything he'd done all year.
You're no longer the voice of the voiceless, you're a friggin' millionaire.
The delivery was perfect. Loose, natural, animated, completely different from his robotic heel work earlier in the tour. The role reversal made sense too. Cena as the villain threatening to retire with the title and ruin wrestling. Punk as the company guy trying to stop him. Despite being the heel, Cena was getting cheers by the end because the performance was so damn good.
For 25 years, I have been the greatest of all time.
Word got out later that he's been writing his own material for this feud, and it showed. Industry insiders were calling it his best work that he's done in years. 6 minutes, that's all it took to remind everyone why John Cena became the face of wrestling for 2 decades. All because someone finally gave him something real to work with. The main event guys getting better is one thing, but Punk's impact on the developmental roster tells the real story. Trick Williams breaks it down perfectly. Punk's a positive light in the locker room who helps with everything: social media, professional conduct, ring work, promo delivery, not generic advice but specific career development from someone who's been at the very top. Roxanne Perez talks about how he stands in the gorilla position after every match giving feedback. Real advice about handling yourself in and out of the ring. Multiple NXT wrestlers describe his mentorship as career changing. The business side backs it up too. NXT ratings spike whenever Punk shows up. His CW debut generated a 44% viewership bump and became the network's highest rated show in key demographics. When developmental talent gets better at TV, that creates value for the whole system. This isn't some legend phoning it in during his NXT appearances. He's actively investing in the next generation. Now let's talk numbers, because that's what really matters to the guys at TKO. TV ratings jumped 25 to 35% during Punk segments. His appearances consistently get the highest quarter-hour numbers. That Netflix Raw debut hit nearly 5 million viewers worldwide. First WWE show to crack 4 million in over a decade. Merchandise-wise, 6-figure sales on his first night back. He's dominated WWE's best sellers list since returning. Even Larry the Dog merch outsells established stars. But here's the crazy part: everyone's numbers go up too. Drew's keyboard warrior content during the feud got more engagement than his entire previous year. When Seth cut a promo on Punk, he consistently outperformed everything else. Roman's collaboration segments set new social media records. When Punk appears on SmackDown, viewership numbers jump significantly from the previous week. These aren't random spikes, they're sustained improvements tied directly to his involvement. One guy elevating the entire roster's metrics. That's not just individual star power, that's systematic value creation. After watching this pattern repeat itself for almost 2 years, 3 things become obvious. Real emotion beats fake drama every time. Every major Punk feud comes from legitimate history and genuine feelings. You can't manufacture that kind of investment, and it forces everyone to match that authenticity or look fake by comparison. Excellence demands excellence. Punk operates at a level that requires peak performance from everyone around him. Try to coast opposite him and you'll look like a complete amateur. The standard gets set and everyone rises to meet it. Collaboration over destruction. Unlike wrestlers who try to make themselves look good by making others look bad, Punk genuinely wants to create great wrestling. That rising tide mentality creates an environment where everybody wins. The pattern holds everywhere. Main eventers, mid-carders, developmental talent, everyone gets better when they work with CM Punk. It's not luck, it's not coincidence, it's systematic excellence creating systematic improvement. CM Punk didn't just come back to reclaim his spot, he came back and made everyone around him better at their jobs. Drew went from directionless to character defining. Seth went from great to legendary. Roman added new layers to perfection. Cena's farewell tour finally found its soul, and NXT prospects are developing faster than ever. This isn't nostalgia or feel-good comeback stories. This is what happens when a master of the craft operates at the highest level and demands that same excellence from everyone around him. The business success validates everything. Higher ratings, higher engagement, record-breaking events. Quality wrestling storytelling translates directly to money, and Punk creates quality wherever he goes. The question is, who's next? Because if we've learned anything over the past 2 years, working with CM Punk doesn't just create great matches or memorable moments, it creates better wrestlers, and in an industry built on developing talent and telling stories, stories. That makes him the most valuable player in the game. The Punk effect is real, it's documented, and it's still happening right now. And that's the new standard. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate it if you leave a comment down below with your thoughts and hit that like button. And while you're here, subscribe to the channel so you can stay tuned for more wrestling content right here on Wrestling Real.